When federal agents stormed the Bandidos clubhouse in 2018, they expected to find drugs, weapons, and cash. What they didn't expect was a motorcycle collection worth more than most people's houses. Bikes so rare that even Harley Davidson executives had forgotten they existed. But here's the thing that'll blow your mind. The most expensive bike they seized wasn't some flashy custom chopper. It was a beat-up 2012 Harley that looked like it belonged in a junkyard. Yet this single motorcycle held the key to understanding how the world's most dangerous outlaw motorcycle club laundered millions of dollars through two-wheeled treasures. Today, we're diving deep into the shadowy world where crime meets chrome, where stolen steel becomes liquid gold, and where 9 legendary Harley Davidsons tell the story of America's most notorious biker gang. From a century-old museum piece that survived 2 world wars to a modern machine that cost more than a Ferrari, these aren't just motorcycles. They're evidence in the biggest RICO case in biker history. The Bandidos Motorcycle Club isn't your average weekend riding group. Founded in 1966, they've grown into one of the big 4 outlaw motorcycle clubs, with chapters spanning 6 continents and a criminal empire that generates hundreds of millions annually. But what sets them apart isn't just their violence or their drug trafficking, it's their obsession with the rarest Harley Davidsons ever built. You see, for the Bandidos, owning a Harley isn't just about transportation. It's about status, power, and most importantly, it's about money laundering on a scale that would make Wall Street jealous. These bikes serve a dual purpose. They're both trophies of criminal success and sophisticated financial instruments that can move dirty money across international borders faster than any bank transfer. The collection we're about to explore represents over 80 years of American motorcycle history, but it also represents something darker, a criminal organization's systematic theft, trafficking, and transformation of stolen steel into untraceable wealth. Every bike has a story, and every story ends with someone getting hurt. Number 9. The 1940 WLA Liberator, the war hero turned outlaw. Let's start with a piece of American history that somehow found its way into the wrong hands. The 1940 Harley Davidson WLA, nicknamed the Liberator, was originally built for World War II. Over 90,000 of these rugged 45 cubic inch flathead Harleys rolled off the production line, painted in olive drab and equipped with leather saddlebags and rifle scabbards. But here's where it gets interesting and dark. The WLA in the Bandidos collection wasn't just any war bike. According to federal investigators, this particular machine was stolen from a Veterans Affairs museum in Texas in 2015. The theft was so brazen that the perpetrators cut through a steel security cage with power tools, leaving behind only tire tracks and a note that read, "Thanks for the history lesson." What makes this WLA truly special isn't just its wartime provenance, it's what happened after the war. Many returning GIs bought surplus WLAS and hit the road, forming the first motorcycle clubs that would eventually evolve into outlaw organizations like the Bandidos. This bike represents the DNA of outlaw biker culture, the moment when military brotherhood transformed into criminal enterprise. The 989 cubic centimeter flathead engine produces just 15 horsepower by today's standards. But in 1940, this was cutting-edge military technology. Every part was machined to be interchangeable with other WLAS, a revolutionary concept that saved countless lives in combat. The olive drab paint still contains actual mud from French battlefields, preserved under clear coat during a restoration that cost more than most people's cars. Federal agents valued this particular WLA at $85,000, but its true worth to the Bandidos was immeasurable. It wasn't just a motorcycle, it was a symbol of their twisted version of American patriotism, where military service becomes criminal justification. Number 8. The 1936-47 Knucklehead, the birth of the V-twin legend. If the WLA represents the Bandidos' military roots, the Knucklehead represents their mechanical soul. Debuting in 1936, Harley's EL/FL series with the overhead valve Knucklehead V twin engine was nothing short of revolutionary. This wasn't just an improvement, it was a complete reimagining of what a motorcycle could be. The knucklehead engine, nicknamed for the distinctive shape of its rocker boxes, delivered more power and reliability than any previous Harley design. Early models from the 1930s and 40s are incredibly scarce today. Motorcycle historians consider them one of the rarest Harley Davidson motorcycles ever built. At auction, pristine examples regularly sell for six figures, with one 1940 model bringing $220,000 at a Las Vegas sale. But the knucklehead in the Bandidos collection has a story that no auction house would ever advertise. According to DEA files obtained through Freedom of Information Act requests, this particular 1938 EL was part of a sophisticated motorcycle theft ring operating out of Louisiana. The Bandidos would steal high-end vintage bikes, strip them for parts, then rebuild them using a combination of stolen and legitimate components. The genius of this operation was in the documentation. By mixing stolen engines with legal frames, or vice versa, they could create motorcycles with clean paperwork that were virtually impossible to trace. A stolen 1938 knucklehead engine might end up in a legally purchased 1940 frame, creating a new motorcycle that could be sold at premium prices to unsuspecting collectors. This particular knucklehead features the original 61 cubic inch engine producing 40 horsepower, massive power for its era. The distinctive aluminum heads and iron cylinders create a sound that's unmistakably Harley, a deep rumble that became the soundtrack of American rebellion. But listen closely, and you might hear something else: the echo of crimes that span decades. Number 7. The 1948 to 65 panhead, the golden age outlaw. The panhead era represents the golden age of outlaw motorcycle culture, and the Bandidos collection includes what federal investigators believe is one of the most historically significant examples ever built. This 1955 FL panhead isn't just rare, it's infamous. Named for its distinctive pan-shaped rocker covers, the panhead engine powered Harley's Big Twins from 1948 to 1965. These were the bikes that defined the 1950s and 60s biker scene, the machines that carried the first generation of Bandidos across the American Southwest as they built their criminal empire. But this particular panhead has a pedigree that reads like a crime novel. According to court documents from the 2018 RICO prosecution, this bike was originally owned by Donald Eugene Chambers, the founder of the Bandidos Motorcycle Club. Chambers, a former Marine who served in Vietnam, established the club in 1966 with a simple philosophy: we are the people our parents warned us about. The 74 cubic inch panhead engine in this bike has been extensively modified, with high compression pistons, a hot cam, and dual carburetors that push output well beyond the factory's 55 horsepower rating. The frame has been stretched and raked for that classic chopper look, while the paint job, a deep metallic red with gold Bandidos colors, was applied by the same artist who created the club's original logo. What makes this panhead truly special isn't its mechanical specifications, it's its role in Bandidos history. This was the bike Chambers rode when he established the club's first chapters outside Texas, the machine that carried him to meetings with other outlaw clubs as he built alliances that would shape organized crime for decades. Federal agents seized this panhead from a storage unit in Houston, where it had been hidden since Chambers' death in 1999. The bike was wrapped in a tarp alongside documents detailing the club's early criminal activities, including plans for drug trafficking routes and territorial agreements with rival gangs. Number 6. The Captain America Easy Rider. Replica, Hollywood meets outlaw reality. Every motorcycle enthusiast knows the Captain America chopper from the 1969 film Easy Rider, but few know the dark connection between Hollywood's most famous bike and real outlaw motorcycle clubs. The Bandidos collection includes what experts believe is one of the most accurate replicas ever built, and its story reveals the twisted relationship between entertainment and criminal reality. The original Captain America choppers were built by Ben Hardy and Clip Vaughns for the film, based heavily on modified panhead engines. After filming wrapped, 3 of the 4 bikes mysteriously disappeared. Legend says they were stolen and chopped up, with pieces distributed to Hell's Angels members who were angry about Hollywood's portrayal of biker culture. The Bandidos replica was built in the early 1970s by a member known only as Wrench, using an authentic 1948 panhead engine and following the original specifications exactly. The patriotic paint scheme, stars and stripes flowing across the extended fuel tank, might seem like an odd choice for an outlaw organization, but it perfectly captures the Bandidos' twisted version of American identity. What makes this replica truly remarkable isn't its accuracy to the film bike, it's what happened to it after construction. According to FBI surveillance reports, this chopper was used in at least 3 documented crimes between 1973 and 1985, including a bank robbery in Oklahoma and 2 drug runs across the Mexican border. The bike's extended front end and rigid rear suspension make it nearly impossible to ride safely at highway speeds. But that wasn't the point. This was a statement bike, a rolling billboard for the Bandidos' philosophy of freedom through violence. The ape-hanger handlebars and sissy bar aren't just styling choices. They're symbols of rebellion against society's rules. Federal investigators valued this replica at $150,000, but its true worth to the Bandidos was in its psychological impact. When this bike rolled into a town, everyone knew the Bandidos had arrived. Number 5. The 2012 Harley Davidson, John Xavier Portillo's personal machine. Sometimes the most valuable bike in a collection isn't the oldest or the rarest. It's the one with the most dangerous owner. The 2012 Harley Davidson, seized from John Xavier Portillo, the former national vice president of the Bandidos, might look like an ordinary touring bike, but it represents the apex of outlaw motorcycle club power. Portillo wasn't just any Bandidos member. He was the organization's second-in-command, a man who controlled criminal operations across multiple states and international borders. When federal agents finally brought him down in 2018, they didn't just seize his freedom, they seized everything he owned, including this seemingly modest blue Harley Davidson. But there's nothing modest about this machine once you understand its role in the Bandidos' criminal empire. This 2012 model, equipped with a twin-cam 103 engine producing 75 horsepower, was Portillo's mobile command center. Hidden compartments throughout the bike contained encrypted communication devices, coded maps of drug trafficking routes, and even a small arsenal of weapons. The bike's touring configuration, complete with hard saddlebags, windshield, and comfortable seating, made it perfect for long-distance travel between Bandidos chapters. Portillo used this machine to coordinate criminal activities across thousands of miles, attending meetings that planned everything from drug shipments to territorial wars with rival clubs. What makes this bike truly extraordinary isn't its mechanical specifications, it's its legal significance. This Harley became Exhibit A in the federal government's RICO case against the Bandidos. Physical evidence of how the organization used motorcycles not just for transportation, but as tools of criminal enterprise. During the trial, prosecutors revealed that Portillo's lawyer had argued the bike had nothing to do with Portillo's affiliation with the Bandidos. The court disagreed, ordering its forfeiture along with $17,827.20 in cash and 3 firearms. The fact that federal prosecutors pursued the seizure of a single motorcycle speaks to its importance in understanding how outlaw clubs operate. This 2012 Harley represents the modern face of outlaw motorcycle crime, sophisticated, international, and worth millions in criminal proceeds. It's a reminder that today's Bandidos aren't just weekend warriors playing dress-up. They're the executives of a global criminal corporation. Number 4. The Stolen Export Network, Redocumented International Fleet. The most chilling entry in the Bandidos collection isn't a single motorcycle. It's an entire network of stolen Harleys that were systematically redocumented and shipped overseas. Federal investigators estimate that between 2010 and 2018, the Bandidos' Louisiana chapters alone were responsible for stealing and trafficking over 200 Harley Davidson motorcycles. This wasn't random theft. It was industrial-scale organized crime. The Bandidos targeted specific models, focusing on late-model touring bikes and high-end customs that could command premium prices in international markets. Once stolen, the bikes would disappear into a sophisticated network of chop shops, document forgers, and shipping companies. The process was diabolically simple. Stolen bikes would be stripped of their identifying features. VIN numbers ground off, engines swapped, frames modified. New documentation would be created using a combination of forged papers and legitimate titles from salvaged motorcycles. The clean bikes would then be shipped to buyers in Europe, South America, and Asia, where they'd emerge with completely new identities. One particular case illustrates the scope of this operation. In 2016, German police discovered a warehouse containing 47 Harley Davidson motorcycles, all with Louisiana shipping documents and all reported stolen in the United States. The bikes had been purchased by legitimate dealers who had no idea they were buying stolen merchandise. The financial impact of this operation was staggering. Conservative estimates suggest the Bandidos generated over $15 million from motorcycle trafficking between 2010 and 2018. But the human cost was even higher. Many of the stolen bikes belonged to military veterans, retirees, and working-class Americans who had saved for years to afford their dream machine. What makes this operation particularly insidious is how it exploited the international motorcycle market's trust in American documentation. A Harley Davidson with Louisiana papers was automatically assumed to be legitimate, allowing stolen bikes to disappear into collections around the world. Number 3, the 1908 Harley Davidson strap tank, the Holy Grail. At the absolute pinnacle of motorcycle collecting sits the 1908 Harley Davidson strap tank, the oldest known production model from the motor company. Only 450 bikes were built in 1908, and fewer than a dozen survive today. In January 2023, a beautifully restored example sold for $935,000 at auction, setting a new world record. The Bandidos' connection to this ultimate collector's prize is murky and disturbing. While no 1908 strap tank has ever been definitively linked to the club, federal investigators have long suspected that the organization's international trafficking network included some of the world's rarest motorcycles. The 1908 strap tank gets its nickname from the nickel-plated steel straps that suspend its fuel and oil tanks from the frame. The single-cylinder engine produces just 4 horsepower, but this machine represents the birth of an American icon. Every Harley Davidson ever built can trace its lineage back to these early experiments in Milwaukee. What makes the potential Bandidos connection so troubling is the international market for ultra-rare motorcycles. Unlike cars, which have extensive documentation and tracking systems, vintage motorcycles often change hands through private sales with minimal paperwork. A stolen 1908 strap tank could disappear into a private collection and remain hidden for decades. The Bandidos' sophisticated document forgery operation, combined with their international shipping network, would have made them uniquely capable of trafficking such a prize. The club's connections to wealthy collectors and corrupt dealers created a perfect storm for high-end motorcycle theft. While no concrete evidence links the Bandidos to any 1908 strap tank theft, the mere possibility illustrates the scope of their criminal ambitions. This wasn't just about making money. It was about possessing pieces of American history, regardless of who got hurt in the process. Number 2, the high-specification money laundering fleet. Perhaps the most revealing aspect of the Bandidos motorcycle collection isn't any single bike. It's the pattern of high-specification, late-model Harleys that federal agents consistently find during raids. These machines, typically worth $30,000 to $50,000 each, serve a crucial role in the organization's money laundering operations. The genius of using motorcycles for money laundering lies in their unique characteristics as assets. Unlike real estate or stocks, motorcycles are portable, easily modified, and difficult to trace. A drug dealer can take $50,000 in cash, buy a high-end Harley, make some modifications, and then sell it 6 months later for a similar amount, effectively cleaning the money through a legitimate transaction. The Bandidos perfected this system on an industrial scale. Court documents from Operation Samson, a major law enforcement operation targeting outlaw motorcycle clubs, reveal that the organization maintained fleets of expensive motorcycles specifically for money laundering purposes. These bikes would be bought with drug proceeds, held for a period to establish legitimacy, then sold to unsuspecting buyers. One particularly sophisticated example involved a 2015 CVO Street Glide, originally purchased for $45,000 with proceeds from methamphetamine sales. The bike was extensively customized with aftermarket parts, increasing its value to over $60,000. It was then sold to a legitimate collector in Germany, with the proceeds flowing back to the United States through a series of shell companies. The beauty of this system, from a criminal perspective, is its scalability. The Bandidos could launder millions of dollars by simply buying and selling motorcycles, all while maintaining the appearance of legitimate motorcycle enthusiasts. The bikes served dual purposes. They were both criminal tools and status symbols within the organization. Federal agents have seized hundreds of these high-specification Harleys during Bandidos raids, with a combined value exceeding $20 million. Each bike represents not just criminal proceeds, but a sophisticated understanding of how to exploit legitimate markets for illegal purposes. Number 1. The 1970 XR 750, the racing legend turned criminal tool. At the top of our list sits a machine that embodies everything the Bandidos represent: power, rebellion, and the corruption of American ideals. The 1970 Harley Davidson XR 750 was built for one purpose: to dominate dirt track racing. Instead, this particular example became a tool for dominating criminal territories. The XR 750 was Harley Davidson's answer to new AMA racing regulations, and it became the most successful race bike in American motorcycle history. With its aluminum heads and cylinders, the 750 cubic centimeter engine could rev to 7,700 RPM while producing over 90 horsepower. Incredible performance for its era. The bike's 29 AMA Grand National Championships remain unmatched in motorsport history. But the XR 750 in the Bandidos collection never saw a racetrack. According to federal investigators, this machine was used by the club's Enforcer division, members responsible for collecting debts, intimidating rivals, and carrying out acts of violence. The bike's incredible performance made it perfect for quick strikes and faster getaways. What makes this XR 750 particularly significant is its modification history. The racing suspension has been altered for street use, while the engine has been tuned for maximum acceleration rather than sustained high-speed running. Hidden compartments in the fuel tank and frame contain weapons and communication equipment, turning this racing legend into a mobile arsenal. The bike's paint scheme tells its own story: flat black with minimal chrome, designed to be invisible at night. The exhaust system has been modified with baffles to reduce noise, while the lighting system includes hidden strobes that can blind pursuing vehicles. This isn't just a motorcycle, it's a weapon of war. Federal agents seized this XR 750 during a raid on a Bandidos clubhouse in New Mexico, where it was found alongside detailed maps of rival gang territories and plans for coordinated attacks. The bike had been used in at least 6 documented crimes, including 2 murders and multiple assaults. The tragic irony of this machine is what it represents: the corruption of American excellence. The XR 750 was designed to showcase the best of American engineering and competitive spirit. In the hands of the Bandidos, it became a tool for spreading fear and violence across the American Southwest. The 9 motorcycles we've explored today represent more than just rare Harley Davidsons. They're a window into the dark heart of organized crime in America. From the 1908 strap tank that represents the birth of an American icon, to the 2012 touring bike that served as a mobile command center for international criminal operations, each machine tells a story of how the Bandidos transformed symbols of freedom into tools of oppression. What makes this collection truly insane isn't just its monetary value, estimated by federal investigators at over $3 million, but what it reveals about the intersection of American culture and criminal enterprise. The Bandidos didn't just steal motorcycles. They stole pieces of American history and twisted them to serve their violent purposes. The federal seizure of these bikes represents more than just law enforcement success. It's the reclamation of American symbols from those who would corrupt them. Every bike now sits in federal custody, evidence in ongoing prosecutions that continue to dismantle one of America's most dangerous criminal organizations. But perhaps the most important lesson from the Bandidos' insane collection is this. The line between passion and obsession, between collecting and stealing, between brotherhood and criminality, is thinner than we'd like to believe. These motorcycles remind us that even our most cherished symbols of freedom can be corrupted when they fall into the wrong hands. The Bandidos may have thought they were building a collection that would last forever. Instead, they built evidence of their own destruction. 9 rare Harley Davidsons that will forever be remembered not for their beauty or their history, but for the crimes they witnessed and the justice they helped deliver. The story of the Bandidos motorcycle collection is just one chapter in the larger story of how organized crime infiltrates American culture. If you want to understand how criminal organizations use legitimate businesses and hobbies to hide their illegal activities, you need to watch this video next, where we explore how the Hells Angels built a global empire using motorcycle dealerships as fronts for drug trafficking. The connections between these two stories will shock you, and the methods they used are still being copied by criminal organizations today.